Hey guys, another Monday, which means more handstands, right? More handstands it is. So we're gonna crack on. Hope you're starting to see some progress and everything. Getting a little bit more holds, starting to figure out what the tuck and straddle's all about. Even just feeling generally better in your shoulders and in your wrists. So hopefully you're seeing some sort of progress through this. So today, you've probably seen on the card. Again, you don't need a whole lot. You just need your usual friendly wall. Not that that wall is particularly friendly, but it'll do. So make sure you've got your wall, make sure you've got enough space in case you want to fall out of anything. My recommendation is don't, but you do you. If you're worried about falling, grab a mattress. For some reason I have a spare mattress in this room. Some pillows, some cushions, you know, whatever makes you feel better about potentially falling out on something. So that's all we're going to need for today. Because today we're going to start off with use your warm-up, always do your warm-up, always love your warm-up, it's just good. We're going to do a little bit of our alignment drills. Just keep that consistency going, make sure you're hitting the spots that you want to be, make sure your body's waking up and being like, yeah, cool, handstands is what we want to do. Then I thought we'd take it into a little bit of headstands, specifically for our tuck and straddle, so we can continue on in that. So we can start figuring out what's actually going on when we're up there, rather than being like, I just can't hold a tuck or a straddle. Seeing as I can't actually go around and spot all of you guys, it would be nice to, but I can't. And then I thought we'd finish with a little bit of crocs. We haven't done crocs in a while. They're good just to train little bits at a time, so just a nice way to finish it. A good way to start figuring out hand and wrist control as well, just because that is everything. So with that in mind, I'm feeling like a warm-up. Are we feeling like a warm-up? I'm feeling like a warm-up. Oh, and the other thing is, make sure you've got a water bottle. I've forgotten to mention that last couple of times, and I feel like you guys all do that anyway, but grab a water bottle. My hair's doing something weird. It's so weird watching yourself on camera. Anyway, we're going to start off with a little bit of, we're going to go 50 jumping jacks, or star jumps, or whatever you want to call them. Just you do you. 50 at your own pace. Make sure you've got enough room. I'm going to go for 1, 2. There's a roof there. 4, 5, 6. Remember to keep breathing at this. Keep your abs working. 20. Over halfway now. 10 more. Do a couple of little knee pulls, and this is focused on the core rather than the leg, so it's that rotation under that's going to lift rather than just your leg. So you should be feeling your hips tuck under to make that pull happen. It's just like a less intense version of our high knees. 5 more each side. Alright, we're going to do 50 reverse star jumps. So instead of going arms and hands out, have arms out when our legs are in. Just to switch it up, get your brain working a little bit more. 50. 8. It's 10. Halfway there, guys. Keep breathing, keep breathing. Just 10 more, that's all. It's nothing. Alright, we'll take it into, you know it, you love it. I know it, I love it. We're going to do some washing machines. I just realised it's a little like a spinal wake-up. Your arms must be real loose and floppy. So we're focusing on that twist through our spine. Hips can turn a little bit. Can bend your knees to get into it if you want to. And stop eating your hair. But just doing as you need. And depending on what sort of space you've got, we're going to slowly turn that into a rain dance. And this one can be a confusing one to do. I feel like we've done this before, but who knows. You're going to start feet slightly wide in hip width. Your arm's going to be above your head, touching the roof because you're in a tiny space. You're going to turn at the hips facing one way. So you've got one arm that's going to lead down through the middle of your body line. So it's coming down through here. You're keeping your body turned so you can come down through the middle. And you're going to open out. So now you're facing the front. And then the same arm that just pulled you down is going to pull you back up. So you're then facing the other way. So then this hand's going to pull you down through the middle. It's going to pull you around to the side. And then pulls you up. So you're going to be going like this figure of 8 motion. Those of you who are already onto this, go ham. But if not, go slow. It's not just like this, and it does to your arm. So what it fully looks like, you go into it, it's just this up and down. And it's always leading down with a hand, pulls you up to come down. Keeping your legs straight, folding at the hips. Just another nice little spinal wake up. I want to a little bit wider, go for a little bit of a rock, side to side, whatever you want to do. Start waking your hips up. They're important now. Now here, a little bit more of our back and shoulders, so you're just going to do it for a little twist. Arms stay straight. If you need to bend your arms to take some of that stretch out, it's okay. Do the other side. And we can do the other side. A couple of times each way. Ooh. My back's feeling very stiff. Alright, we'll do a little bit of Pilates, and again, okay, for this stuff, I need to preface it by saying I'm not a Pilates instructor, I haven't studied this is stuff I've picked up in my own practice that other people have taught me as part of their training. So this is not an exhaustive little Pilates thing, this is what I have, but I find this really nice for waking up my abs and my hips. So, have some water if you want, I do, this room's already getting warm. Alright, so, I'm going to pull this a little bit lower. I probably have room, we'll see. So I'm going to lie down, can you see? We can see, okay. So already starting here, a similar face, I'm still trying to pull my abs in there, trying to be flat. So it's not like there's a dish down, it just wants to be this nice, consistent, flat feeling in the ground. I'm not pushing out of my legs, I'm keeping my hip bones on the ground, but it's just slightly tucked under, and it's this pull coming up and flat. All we're going to do is you're going to be breathing out as your leg comes up, pushing this even lower, even flatter, and you're going to be breathing in as your leg comes down to the ground. Your leg's going to stay at this kind of 90-degree angle, pulling in, trying to get your belly button into your spine, ribs pulling down flat. I'm just going to do 10 lifts on each leg. The goal is to be feeling that pull coming from in here as opposed to your quads. All here is what we're after. So we're going to go for 1. Breathing in. Keep that pull in happening. 4, 5. Keep checking, keep making sure this is flat. You don't want to be doing it out here. It's always nice and in. Pulling your ribs down. And the lift comes from your lower abs. I feel like that's 10. I've kind of lost count. We'll do 10 on the other leg. 3. Still that pull. Man, my computer sounds really loud. Keep that pulling in flat. Always in. Always in. Stomach into your spine. Ribs down to your hips. Right. Next one is we're going to be going from here, which is going to be extending out and back in for 10 times. Again, same setup, belly button's pulling into the ground, ribs are driving down to our hips, 10 of these. So, and you're breathing in as your leg pulls back in. Thinking about that tuck, so our legs are staying parallel to the ceiling and the floor. Keep your abdomen flat, pulling it in, nice and wide as well. So it's not just flat down, but it's flat wide. 6, I think, 7. Talking on doing these really makes me lose count. And then we've got 10 on the other side. Keep pulling in, keep breathing. Think about breathing into your sides. When you're actually in your handstand. I know I've talked about this before, but breathing into your lats. 9 and 10. Alright, last one we're going to do, just for in regards to all of this, is going to be similar to what we've just done. So our leg's going to be out, we're going to be pulling in, dropping out to the side, only as far as you can keep this other hip on the ground. You don't want to be rocking out. So if it gets to here, it's fine. If it gets to here, brilliant. But you're trying to have both your hips pulling down to the ground. So it's only moving from the hip, and then we're going to rotate out to straight and back down. I'm going to do 5 this way, and then we're going to do 5 the other way. I hope this makes sense. It makes sense to me. The main thing is I'm focused on what's happening here. Hips a little bit, but mostly what's happening in here. Always driving in that slight tuck under, and your ribs driving in, so that handstand shape. But most importantly, abs pull down to the ground and they're pulling flat, so they're wide as well as down. Yeah? Okay. Do 5 each way. Breathing out on the way up. I'm going to start here, and we go. 1, 2, 4, and that's 5, and we're going to go the other way. Remember, out on the way in as you're compressing. Use that to help compress. Hips stay on the ground. 4, something odd. 5. Alright, so we do need to do the other side. I think, because if not, I've just wasted some time, but I feel like I haven't done the other side. Yeah, so we're just going to go smash into that. The idea is that it's all happening from here. This is what's lifting, yeah? That's what's going to be taking you up and through the entire time. So, other side, set yourself up. You're going to be breathing, so starting out here, keep everything flat, pulling in for the breathing in. Oh, it's breathing out on the way in. I got momentarily confused, but that is a-okay. Keeping this in. 4 and 5. So then it's going to be the other way. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Right. That should be. It's not crazy like muscle hard. It's more about trying to get your brain into all of the different places. It's that connection aspect that's what we're really trying to chase with this. Other than that, we're going to do a little bit more core as we get into our actual alignment drills, but we need our shoulders working. So ideally you'd be standing up for this, but because I have a tiny room and all of that, I'm going to be going side, palms down, pull your elbows across, palms up to open hands, and you're going to swap whichever one's on top, each side. Make sure you're keeping it flat, going behind you, so you're not going to be doing this. Out to the side, squeezing your shoulder blades together. That's what I understand. I'm going to start turning that into just open arm diagonal opens. So switching whichever arm is crossing on the top each time. And then that's just going to turn into all the way up. Arm staying straight at the top. Try not to let your ribs pop out. So what we're avoiding is this. It's just going to be up, giving that shoulder range going. And then you can start bending. Just a little pat on the back because you're doing good. Okay. Do a quick set to get some blood into your hands. So standing up, standing up, standing up, standing up. Same one as we've done before. Instead of standing to our feet, hands slightly flexed. We're just going to be pumping up and down. Nice and fast. Up and down. Alright. The other one that's an interesting one is you guys know our shoulder push-ups we do on the ground? You can do the same thing. We'd be standing up, shoulders back, shoulders forwards. And what I don't want you to be doing is going down and back, up and forwards. It's just in that neutral line. So it's your shoulder blades rotating, just shifting between being retracted and protracted. Forward, backward. This is more of a brain one than any sort of like actual like muscular endurance thing. But it's just something nice to check in on every once in a while because we're going to do our shoulder blade push-ups, but we're going to be doing them in circles when you're going 5 forwards, 5 backwards. So what's going to be happening is here, you're going to be rolling up and forward. So exactly what I didn't want you to be doing with these, instead of this, now we're going to be going here, but we're going to be doing it in that plank position. If I pull it down so you can see, because seeing is believing and all that nonsense. If you want to be on your knees for this, that is 112% okay. If you want to do it in a plunge, go for it. So we're setting up to our plank. We're going for 5 shoulder circles forward. 3, 4, 5, and then we're going to do 5 backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4. And in reverse. I'm going to push up into our downward dog. Hang out here, let your hamstrings start to say hello. And do a little bit of a walk if you want. We're going to go for 5, we'll do 10. We're going to go for 10 little shoulder blade shrugs here. Just up and down your back. I'm also going to do 5 little drops down to our elbows and back. So you go elbows up. With these, you don't want to let your elbows go out wide. They're always staying in line with your hands. 4, 5. Right, and wrists. Of course, your wrists. Wrists are good, wrists are happy, wrists are fun. It's been cool seeing a couple of you guys back around the hub telling me that you're actually watching these, which is really nice. Because sometimes it just feels like you're just doing it, at a computer and you're just like yelling into the void. You don't know if anyone's watching. But people are watching, that makes me really happy. So, go hands again, just do a couple of rolls. So it's a little bit of pressure. This is just a slightly less intense version of fish that I like to do. Go the other way. Ooh, let's try a wrist click. Little weird handshake, as always. And some barn doors. I don't know what this is, like bread bin? Tent flap. Something that opens and shuts in this. I don't know. It's a cat flap. That's what it is. Alright, sorry. I'm getting off task. I don't have the greatest sleep, so my brain's a touch loopy, and that is okay. It's all well and good. A little bit of more if you want, then we're going to go through our regular wrist push-ups. And then we'll crack into all of the juicy good stuff. So setting yourself up as normal, making sure I can see the camera. Again, making sure shoulders are stacked over wrists so we're not too far forward, we're not pushing back. And at this stage you could probably start thinking about moving your knees a little bit further back because you're probably starting to get stronger wrists. And it's always nice to have strong wrists. So setting yourself up, pushing your thumbs to the ground, making sure your thumbs are active. If I came along and pulled them, you should see them pull back instead of just this sort of like weak nonsense. So keeping our knuckles pushing to the ground, we're going to go for 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9, 10. And remember to control the way down. It's not just up and down, it's that control the whole way. Keeping our shoulders pushing out. It's not just, because that looks weird, quite frankly. We're going to do 10 with our thumbs lifting up, making sure our elbows are staying still. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. Again, not a huge movement. The other one can be a little bit bigger when we're pulling our pinky side of our hands up, but always still pushing out of our shoulders. It's not, so it should be moving up as we go. And then we've got 10 on our fingers. And remember, with all of these, we want wide fingers. It's hard to hold a handstand like this, because if you look at the difference in surface area that you're contacting, this is giving you more balance, places to put your balance. This, not so much. So you've got 10 push to fingertips. 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Our hands again, and just do a couple of gentle wee circles. Just some rolls, and we're going to go the other way. Starting to wake up that awareness in our hands, get your brain into your wrists, your fingers, your palm. Feel out what's contacting the floor, what isn't, why isn't it? And then we're just going to do some gentle walks. Just around to wherever your wrists feel like they need to be going at the moment. Alright, a little bit of water, and then we're going to crack into the usual alignment drills. So 10-second hold, 10 knee slides, 10 leg lifts, and again the whole entire point of this is from your hips all the way to your shoulders is against the ground. We're trying to have that really nice straight spine. So the reason you feel like it's that curve in is because you've got this natural curve in your lower back. There's a fancy name for it that I am not 100% certain of, so I'm not going to say it in case someone's like, Aidin, that's not the right word. So, yeah. But the idea is we're trying to get rid of that, because then everything's just going to stack straight. So you're not powering everything to your lower back. So that's why that whole abs pulling in and that slight tuck of your lower ribs. If you touch your lower ribs and push it down, it's going to make them want to go in a little bit. So it's this pull in. And your lower ribs are tucking up. Again, I've said it before. I apologize for the metaphor, but it's like someone's got a staple and they've hooked it into your lower ribs and into your hips, and it's just started to pull shut. Again, apologies, it's not the best metaphor, but it kind of works. Still focusing on that super open shoulders, so it's trying to drive like your armpit here all the way to the ceiling, but trying to keep your ribs in, of course, because you can do that, but if it loses the ribs, then you're stacking everything out of your spine again. Basically, you just have to think of everything at once and keep breathing. So enough of a review, and I hope you guys have had your water, but we're just going to go into it. So set yourself up on a wall, feet down by a mattress if that's currently where you're at. So pushing away, and you have your ankles together, pointed toes. Set all of this up before you worry about anything else. So hips tuck under, ribs drive down, abs pulling, think like that same like flattening sensation as well. I'm going to push against the wall, keeping breathing, pointed toes, for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're going to go straight into our little leg pull. So heels staying on the ground, just rolling in and out, squeezing our butt on the way back to keep our lower back on the ground. 2, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Keep that hip tuck under. Keep pushing the wall away. It's halfway. I think I've lost count. I'll say it was halfway. That's number 6. I'm fairly certain. Keep pushing the wall. Keep breathing. Keep your ribs tucked in. Keep your toes pointed. 8, 9. Check in. Is your lower back still on the ground? 10. 10 little leg lifts. Lower back staying on the ground. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah. Again, I know we do that every class, and I know some of you might be going like, Aidin, give us some new jokes. It's a good drill. Does what it says on the tin. I need some water now because this room's better than the old one I was in, except for the height, but it gets just as hot. Which is weird because we're getting colder, but the room's still warm, so go figure. We're going to go for our 3 sets of 10 seconds on the wall. Now we'll do 3 of 15. We did that last week, we'll do it this week. We're stronger, we're getting better. So we're going to go for 3 of 15. It's going to be, as always, first set is pointed toes, just worrying about figuring out the shape. That's all we're caring about for that. Second one is flexed feet, trying to get that stack a little bit more. Third one is going to be 1 pointed, 1 flexed, and just slowly trying to straighten that flexed one, just lifting off the wall ever so slightly and then coming back. So trying to find that actual float. Just for 15 seconds at a time, 3 sets. You know it, you love it, I think. Probably. So we're just going to set up and start doing that. Find your wall. Make sure there's no errant light bulbs nearby. And we're just going to get out there and go for it. 15 seconds, here we go. And starting for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Alright. So while I was up there, I just had thought about something that's quite nice to talk about is the angle that your hands are turned out. And again, whatever sort of feels best for you at this point is what I'm after. Fingers generally facing forward, but I don't mind whether that's like your forefinger and your middle finger pointing forwards, whether it's just your forefinger and you've got a slight turnout. I'd rather you not be here, I'd rather you not be here, but here or here is something, and actively driving into here, as always. Second set of 15, flex feet. Oh, I shouldn't have had that water. Flex those feet, and for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Should not have had that water. Oh well. And last one, just before we get into the other one, is where you look. I feel like I may have covered this, but it's been a while, so it's always good going over that. I'm looking at my hands, but I can't see my whole hand. And I can't see my whole hand because I'm not using my face to look at it, I'm just using my eyes. So I was to look at the roof right now. That's all you need to do. There's a slight head tilt. I'm not doing it like this. But my vision probably goes to about here. I can't really see the ends of my fingers. That's because I'm still trying to keep my spine as neutral as possible while allowing myself to look at the floor. So just something to think about. So if I'm here, I'm not like this, more like this. It's just like a gentle tilt without being, you see how much that changes my upper back instead of just being here. So last one is 1 foot flexed, 1 foot pointed, trying to find that float. 15 seconds. Walk yourself in or cartwheel up if you've got the space. 1 flexed, 1 pointed. For 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And hopefully you guys are starting to find that float towards the end, even if it's for a second just touching back. Maybe you're coming off the wall a little bit, that's okay. That is A-okay. I'm okay with this, that is okay. Because the thing is that you're trying, that is the biggest thing. Water as required. Alright. To get into... you know what we haven't done? We haven't done kick-ups yet. We're going to go through a quick set of 5 kick-ups on each leg. And for this, we're going to do... Ooh. How much time have we got? We're doing... Okay... Yeah, right. We're going to go for 5 kick-ups on each leg, but we're going to do it twice. The first time through is going to be with that nice long lunge kick-up. So the idea is you're taking up as much space as you can to make that happen. I might have room, we'll see. And that's one which you're going to set yourself up standing. Ribs are in, hips are tucked under, abs are pulling in, making them nice and flat. Your shoulders are already pushing up to your ears, you're already pushing the roof away. You're going to take 1 step, do that nice long lunge, use your back leg to help drive you up. Again, a float, a second, 2 seconds. That's it. Control the way down. So 5 of those in each leg. And then we're going to do 5 with our hands on the ground. So feeling like our shoulders are going to have to open to make that work. Just because I don't think we did these last week. So we may as well, right? You're absolutely damn right. Start on your bad leg. Just a way to feel better at the end of it. And we'll see how this goes. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do a massive lunge, but we'll see. So set yourself up nice. All of this is already working. Step forward and kick. And down. Remember to come down on the same leg you kick up with. It's going to be 2. That's 3. And that's 4. A little bit of an archy back going on with that one, but that's okay. And that's 5. Right. So now you've done 5 on that, we're going to do 5 on your other leg, which is hopefully your good leg. So it should start to feel easier with this one. 1. Please don't kick the roof. 2. Remember to keep your arms by your ears to reach forward. 3. 4. Last one. And 5. Okay. So now hopefully we're starting to find that shape a little bit. So going over the hand kick up one again, you're trying to start with your shoulders stacked with your wrists already. So whereas the other one with the lunge forward, you're trying to stack your hands down as much as you can before, and just like lever that shape up with as minimal change to it as you can. With the hands on the ground, you're trying to start stacking and building that handstand from the ground up. So your hands are on the ground, leading to your shoulders, and your hips are trying to be kind of close to there anyway, because the closer they are, the less they have to travel, so the less work it's going to be. Your shoulders aren't going to be completely open unless you've got an amazing pike, which you might. I'm not saying you don't, but you probably are going to have to push a little bit. And the thing to kick up is remember is that your shoulders are going to have to open, but it's not a push back. it's an opening of everything else over the top as opposed to this open up and this push around, because that's going to throw you into a Mexican. We don't want to do that yet. So 5 of those, starting with your silly leg. Make sure you're not going to kick the roof. I hate this room. So setting yourself up already, driving with that back leg. 1, 2, 3. Ooh, hello shoulders. 4, 5. There's a light bulb like here, and I'm not okay with it. Again, the important thing with this one is that your back leg cannot fizzle out early. It's not pushing quite as much as it needs to on this leg for me. So you can probably see I'm coming up and then straight back down, because that back leg's not pulling up quite enough for me to open my shoulders, get my core into the right position. Hopefully the next set will be better, so you can kind of see what I mean, but we've got to do 5 on the other leg, of course. So set yourself up, bit of a runner's position if you want, but then stack your hands up. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Alright. Just good to get a little bit of those drills in every now and then, of course. And if you have the time, do like 5 minutes of each. Just up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Hang out in the handstand if you hit it. Great. If you don't, it's fine. You can do more. Alright. The other stuff I want to get on to today is the motion of tucks and straddles, but taken from that headstand. You can do your headstand whichever way you need. If you're doing hands and head, or you're doing more straight arm elbow stand style, I don't really mind. Whatever works for you, whatever makes you feel happy and comfortable. And if you're worried about rolling out of this, throw a mattress down, throw some cushions down. If you do fall over, just tuck your chin, protect your neck. It's important. The plan of attack is, first of all, we're just going to get comfortable on a headstand again. We might not have done it in a while. And then we're going to try and start moving through tuck and straddle from there. And the idea is, with you moving from your straight to your tuck, as you know those drills we did last week where you're on our bodyline one, you're just lifting your shins parallel the whole time? That's what you're going to be doing, but you're in a headstand. So your shins are going to do this. I don't want to see them doing that. It's this lift down to your tuck. I don't know if you understand what makes sense up here. I don't know how well it's translating there. But we're going to do 5 controls of those. We come out and we're going to do 5 straddle to straight. Okay? I'm going to go this way, so if I fall, I'm going to fall into a nice soft mattress. So find your headstand. And we're going to go into our tuck. And up. It's 3, 4, and 5. The idea of this is you can start to feel this weight shift, right? From when you're in your tuck, more weight's pulling you this way, as opposed to when you're straight, more weight's centered above that line. And that's what's going to be pulling you straight. I feel like I'm still a little bit like this on my headstand, which is neither here nor there. I'm not super worried about it, to be honest. But the idea is that you're starting to feel that transfer. Because when you do this on your hands, there's still going to be that weight, right? Unless as you come down, you start to do a tiny little back arch to help compensate for the weight, whether you're closing your shoulders a little bit, again, to help compensate for the weight. Just be aware that that's something you have to fix when you go back to your straight handstand. We've got to do our straddles now as well, and there's a little bit of the same feeling. Again, depending how good, if you've got like a flat middle split straddle, boy, you're not going to feel as much compensation required. Whereas if you've got a straddle like me, then that's more of a pike, there's probably a little bit more compensation. But we're going to do the same thing, but this time moving through our straddles. So sit up straight, straddle, and making sure your legs go flat, so it's not a star,
it's a straddle. It's 2, 3, 4, and 5. Again, you don't have to do these with the same style headstand I'm doing. You can do the forearm stand version if you're worried about a neck, or you just don't enjoy that version. That's okay. The alignment's not exactly the same, but it's close enough for the purposes of what we're trying to achieve with this. And the last one we're going to be doing within this kind of setup, how are we doing for time? We're actually doing okay. We're actually doing okay, folks. In terms of this movement pathway, because there's another 2 drills I want to get to, is we're going to be going straddle, tuck, 5 times again. So this way all of it's going to be forward, but the biggest thing I want you to pay attention to is that your tuck is not heels to bum, it's knees into chest, and that your straddle is a straddle. It's not a star. Because it's going to be tempting to be like tuck, straddle here, you're a tuck, straddle, tuck, straddle. I hope that makes sense. And the best way to tell, apart from having someone there who knows what they're talking about, being like, do this instead, is to video yourself and have a look at how it's going. So if you want to set up a camera now and just go through that, you do you. But in the meantime, I'm going to go tuck, straddle, tuck, straddle, tuck, straddle, tuck, straddle. Or straddle, tuck, straddle, tuck, straddle. You do, start whichever one you want to start. I start in tuck. Just 5. Set yourself up. Tuck to straddle to tuck to straddle to tuck. Pointed toes. 3, 4, 5. A little break. Shake your wrists out. Shake your head out. The last one that I want to do, just more of as a like strength and control thing. And if this is not somewhere where you're at, it's fine. You can go back and do some more of these. But you're gonna start to prep into this. So we're going to be standing up in the same way. We're going to start with our feet on the ground at pike. We're just going to go for a little cheeky little pre-press kind of thing. It just helps to set up all of this in this roll kind of stack that we're interested in doing when we're doing our tuck-ups or our straddle-ups. So the idea is you're setting yourself up, hands head on the ground or forearms on the ground. You're going to be up in this pike. Just going to lift your legs up to a straddle and back down. We're going to do, we have sort of time. We're going to do 5 of straddle and then 5 of tuck. And tuck's just going to be lifting our legs to that tuck and back. Yeah? So starting with we start with tucks. We're going to start with our 5 tucks and then we're going to do our 5 straddles. So what's going to happen is it's just that keeping that compression. You don't want to sort of like arch out as you come up. Everything's just going to stay in. But you're just going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll just do it so you can sort of see what I'm getting at. I feel like I'm starting to over-explain stuff a lot. So I'm starting in this position, and I pull in for that tuck, and I come back out. 2. You see how there's that roll of the hips to start stacking? Because here I'm quite rounded, and then I can get up. It's 4. And that's 5. Oh, head rush. So that's the idea is you're focusing, because you can't just be in your handstand in this ugly little curve. It's just not great. So there is, as you start to get your legs in, you can pull up to straight, and then as you come down, initiate that curl back down. So we have to do 5 in our straddle as well. And this one's going to be opening wide, and it doesn't come up to start. It stays at 90 degrees, yeah? Stays horizontal. And again, the best way to figure out what's going on with that is video yourself. Or, I mean, the best way is to have someone there and tell you exactly where horizontal is so you can feel it in the moment. But beyond that, video yourself and see what's up. 5 of these. One, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Have a bit of water. I think you've earned it. And then we're going to spend 5 minutes on Crocs. That's all our tuck straddle stuff that we're doing this week. But we're going to go through, do a brief set of Crocs. So just give your wrist a bit of a shake, prep them up. We're only going to be doing 5 minutes or so on this. And all I'm going to check with this is we're going to start off do 2 quick frog stands. One just to check the positioning, and the other one is just going to be you're going to do a little bit of a rock forward and backward, okay? So on there you're going to tilt weight forward, not enough to hit the ground, you're going to tilt weight backwards a little bit, not enough to hit the ground. You're just going to do a couple of rocks. Start feeling that play in your wrist, in your hand, figuring out where that control of the weight is. And then we'll just jump and do a couple of crocs each side. Again, depending on where you're up to. And the other thing is, this goes for generally all handstands, but especially for crocs, I find. If you can do it on hard floor or like a solid surface, it's so much better. It's much nicer on your wrist. So if you have like concrete or like flat wood, it's better than carpet. But it's kind of a by the by. As always, have something like a cushion by your face, because if you fall, you don't want to. So 2 quick frog stands, either on knees or in armpits, whatever works for you. So first one, just shake yourself up, get ready to be like, oh hey, it's a frog stand, look at that. You can hang it here for a little bit. Really good drill. I thoroughly encourage you doing a lot of those if you do want your croc. So the next one we'll do is just a couple little rocks. So set yourself up, same frog stand you just did. I'm just going to go a little bit forward, a little bit backwards, a little bit forwards, a little bit backwards. So it's feeling this kind of little play that you do have in your wrist, even as it's supporting a fair amount of your weight. Just a useful little wrist control drill to do. So to go back into our crocs, we're going to go try 3 on each side. You don't have to take your hands and feet away, and then we're going to call that done. So we're not going stupid on this. So you're going to come starting off in your cat shape. Keep your hands on the ground, wide fingers for this. And you're going to walk your body to the side, leaving your hands where they are. Take your legs into a bit of a straddle as you bend your back elbow and place it just above your hip. Your other hand is going to come forward, go into a big straddle. You can just hold here if you want to. The next step would be to lift one leg or the other leg, keeping your hand on the ground, or both legs. And then that would be your hand. I don't like doing anything covered. So that's 1. We're going to be trying 2 more. They don't have to be holding for super long. They don't have to be holding, but the idea is you're just going to start getting used to that position. So you can just hold here. The more side crunch you have, the easier it's going to be. And the idea is you really want to squeeze your butt and try and lift your legs up. So your body wants to be in this arch. So you got 1 more on the side. Whoa. Give your wrist a shake, because it is a lot of weight going on there. And you're going to turn around and set up the other side. Always train both sides. Otherwise, when you do them on video, one side looks way better, and then your student's like, hey, I thought you said to train both sides. And you're like, I do, but one side's still not great. Whoa. Hello, sneaky side crop. Set that up a little bit. So with this one, my hand's not necessarily turned straight sideways. It's still slightly in. So it's like my thumb's pointing forwards in terms of the direction of my croc. But my head is looking out at an angle. And crocs is really important because it wants to sink into your wrist a lot as well. Really, really drive your thumb and that first knuckle down. That's what's going to help take the weight out of your wrist. Number 2. Right, and we've got one more, that's all. Then we're going to do a nice little warm down. Alright. And then we're going to be good to our wrists, because always be good to your wrists, folks. So we're going to start off, seeing as we've just done all of this, we're going to start off with our hands, palms on the ground, elbow pits facing forwards, rotating forwards. Just because lockdown's like sort of over, doesn't mean we don't want to keep seeing you guys' stuff. Still keep hashtagging us on Instagram, Circus Hub Community, check us out there. We've still got our community going on our Facebook page. We've got a brand new booking system. And that's exciting, so you don't have to go to some other site. You just go to the website and be like, hey, I want these classes, and you just get those classes. You still have to pay for them, but you know, yeah, you know where I'm going with this. Practice clubs open again with caveats, but you can come on and train again. I know. I'm so excited. I'm gonna start bending your elbows to peel off from here. Before we do the other way, we're going to do our little like wrist wobble, so thumb on the inside, fingers on the outside, and just sort of like rock it back and forth. Put it by your face if you want a bit of a fan. We've still got some Zoom classes happening if you're maybe in someone at-risk's bubble, or you don't want to chill out with other circus students yet, which is fine. We'll have Zoom classes going on. We're checking some timetables for those, so hopefully that's going to work a little bit better for you guys in your work schedules. What else was I going to say? We've got merchandise waiting for you at the hub if you ordered it pre-lockdown, and it's just cool to see you guys. So come check in at the hub. Come say hi on Zoom. Let us know what's going on Instagram. Now we're going to go this way. It's a little bit of a lean back, just a gentle one. Send me some stuff of your progress. Are handstands clicking for you? Are they not? If they're not, let me know. I'm super keen to see what I can do to help you achieve those. But if they are, also let me know. I want to know where everyone's at. How good is everything? Hopefully it's pretty good. I'm going to start bending our elbows now, starting to peel them off the ground, getting a bit of a stretch through our fingers. Alright. Our arm's going to go across, pulling this down, a little bit of a stretch. Get across to here, it does a little bit of work. And just enjoy. Yeah. I'm running out of nonsense to talk about. It's a problem. I'm going to switch to the other side. Ooh, this one's tight. Check out our Circus Fit classes on YouTube. Those are still happening. Those are really good. Highly recommend. Just something to like keep you going. And it's crazy how much like non-dedicated skill training actually gives you. Because a lot of the time when you're training your skills, you're like, oh, I'm doing the skill and I'm building something. That's not actually true. You're not building skill. You're maintaining that. So just getting in some conditioning that isn't necessarily like directly skill focused does wonders for your actual technique. So do Circus Fit, folks. It's good. I'm doing it. I just really enjoy it. We can do a little bit of Peck Stretch because I know we haven't been doing those recently. So on the ground, one arm's going to be a little cactus arm. So elbow about the height of your shoulder, maybe a little bit higher. Hand directly above that. You can sort of push into it as you roll over onto your side. And chill out here. This is always a nice one to finish on. Because you're lying on the ground, you feel like you've achieved things. And don't forget about the other side. Back in school, Rosalie used to treat this as like a reward. If we were good in class, she was like, oh, you're allowed to stretch your pecs. And everyone was really into it. It always kind of surprised me. But hey, it's a good stretch to do. Other than that, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of the day. Hope you have a wonderful week, and I look forward to seeing you around again. It'll be pretty good. So, have a good time. See you guys later.